Hello everyone, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to talk about fourth unit, that is integration. Okay, let me show you. Yes, here I am. So this is the fourth unit, that is integration and diversification growth strategies. So before going into the details of this fourth unit, first understand the basics here. So for expansion strategies, generally organizations use the first one, that is intensive expansion. Second, it is integration. So integration in bracket given the horizontal and vertical. Third, that is diversification, and the fourth one, that is international operations. Okay. So here in this unit we will talk about the integration, that is the second one, and diversification, that is the third one. Okay, basically we will talk about these two. So now let's move on. As you can see on the screen, the first thing which we should consider, that is diversification. Here I'm talking about okay, hold on. So diversification involves moving into new lines of business. Okay, so when any organization wants to move into new lines of business, so that is known as diversification. So when an industry consolidates and becomes mature, most of the firms in that industry would have reached the limits of growth using vertical and horizontal growth strategies. So whenever any organization reaches to the limits of growth using vertical and horizontal growth strategies, then after that organization should use diversification. If they want to continue growing any further, the only option available to them is diversification by expanding their operation into a different industry. So that's it. Means whenever that is the limit of growth using vertical and horizontal growth strategy, then the only option the organization has to diversify. So that's why then after they use the diversification strategies for growth. Diversification firm of a firm, you see here on the screen. Here I'm talking about diversification. If I change the color of this, then it will be better. So now change it. So what there it is given, diversification of a firm can take the form of concentric and conglomerate diversification. So to form diversification can take place. The first one, that is the concentric. Here you see. So concentric meaning here the related. Okay, related diversification is appropriate when a firm has a strong competitive position but industry attractiveness is low. So here when the firm has a strong competitive position. So in any industry, if a firm has strong competitive position, then in that case the firm can choose a concentric or related diversification. And in the second case, that is conglomerate or unrelated diversification, is an appropriate strategy when current industry is unattractive and that the firm lacks exceptional and outstanding capabilities or skills in related products or services. So now here in case of unrelated, when the firm chooses unrelated or conglomerate diversification, whenever there it is industry unattractiveness, means when there is not much opportunities in the industry, or it may be possible the firm lacks the exceptional and outstanding capabilities and skills in the given industry. Then in those situations the firm can choose unrelated diversification. So now next there you have related diversification. So what happens in related diversification? You see, a company expands into a related industry, one having synergy with the company's existing lines of business, creating a situation in which the existing and the new lines of business share and gain special advantage from commodities such as technologies, customers, distribution, location, product or manufacturing similarities, and government access. So now you see here this means related diversification or concentric diversification, that is useful whenever company expands into when it is useful when one having a synergy means whenever there is diversification in the same kind of industry, then the organization benefits from the special advantage from commonalities such as technology, customers, distribution, location, product or manufacturing similarities, and government access. So such a advantage if an organization gets, then in that case that organization is going to choose a related diversification or concentric diversification. This is often an appropriate corporate strategy when a company has a strong competitive position and distinctive competencies. So now here you see there it is competitive position, means the organization has the competitive position and distinctive competencies, but its existing industry is not very attractive. If it is not attractive, the given industry, then in that case that organization will use its competencies and other kind of skills which are advantageous to that firm to expand or to diversify to the related industry. Such diversification may be possible into two ways. So first way, that is the internal development, and the second, now you see here such diversification may be possible in two ways. The first one, that is given internal development. Okay, what is this one given? Internal development. And the second one, that is given external acquisitions. So these are the two ways through which an organization can diversify in related diversification. So internal development through product and market expansion utilizing the existing resources. In case of internal development, the organization uses product and market expansion using the existing resources and capabilities. It means whatever existing resources and capabilities the organization has, that organization uses those existing resources and capabilities to expand. And in case of external acquisition, or that's given external acquisition, the organization uses external resources or some kind of other than internal resources, or you can say existing resources and capabilities. Now next you have unrelated diversification. So related diversification you got, so it was all about diversifying into similar industries where the existing resources and capabilities can be utilized to its advantage. Now in this 4.3 unrelated diversification, what happens? Unrelated diversification. Conglomerate diversification is a growth strategy in which A company seeks to grow by adding entirely unrelated products and markets to its existing business. So it here the expansion, or you can see diversification, is in the entirely unrelated products and markets. A company that consists of a grouping of businesses from unrelated streams is called a conglomerate. So that's why the name given. A conglomerate diversification means from uh, unrelated. Whenever there is diversification into unrelated industries by the organization, then that is known as conglomerate diversification. Conglomerate consists of a number of product divisions which sell different products principally to their own market rather than to each other. Conglomerates diversify their business risk through profit gain from profit centers in various lines of business. So that's all about the unrelated diversification, that is also known as conglomerate diversification. Then you have rationale for diversification. Why we should use the diversification? So under strict assumptions of an efficient market theory, there is no convincing rationale for one company to acquire another. Okay, under perfect, or you can say strict assumption of efficient market theory, there is no convincing rationale for one company to acquire another, especially less efficient or unrelated business, because in case of diversification, it may be possible that the existing firm may acquire another uh, loss making firm, so that is not profitable if the market it is working efficiently. Since the markets are imperfect, so that we know that the market is not perfect, so that is imperfect and do not follow the norms of efficient market theory. Companies do diversify for several reasons. So many reasons are there due to which you can say companies diversify. So the first reason that is given, economies of a scale and a scope, and that is also known as synergy. Okay, so mergers of two companies producing similar products should allow the combined firms to pool resources and attain lower operating cost. It means when we pull together the resources of two or more companies, then the operating cost it decreases. So that is due to the economies of a scale or a scope. And in the same way, we can say the combined entity can lower the operating cost and increase operational efficiency. Okay, so in other words, we can say there it is, a combined entity can lower the operating cost. So it means what happens here, so we can write down operating cost, it goes down. Okay, and operational efficiency, and here I can write down operational efficiency. Operational efficiency, it goes up. Okay, means that is upward arrow, it goes up, and operating cost it goes down. And diversification widen market base and enhance market power. What it does, so widen market base and enhance market power. Large number of collaboration and acquisitions are aimed at expanding the market for the firm's products. Mergers and acquisitions can increase a firm's market share when both firms are in the same business. Okay, if combining firms are in the same business, then the market share it increases. Then the third one we have, so the first done, second done, now move on to the third. How it will be if I change? Now let's check it out. There you have. Now the third one I'm talking, profit stability. So organizations pursue diversification as strategy just to avoid instability in sales and profits, which can result from events such as cyclical and seasonal shifts in demand, change in life cycles, and other destabilizing forces in the micro and macro environment. So here, on an average, we can say that profitability it stabilizes whenever there is diversification. And how it stabilizes? So the reason that when a large number of organizations pursue diversification as strategy just to avoid instability in sales and profits, which can result from events such as cyclical and seasonal shifts. Okay. Now next we have improve financial performance. So next what we have, improve financial performance. Large firms generate cash that can be invested in other ventures also. So here given large firms invest, or large firms generate cash that can be invested in other ventures. So that is also the reason for diversification. Now next we have growth. To achieve higher growth rate than which is possible with the intensification strategy, if the management feels that the existing products and markets do not have the potential to deliver expected growth, the only alternative they have is to diversify into new territories. It means that if the existing industries cannot give that much growth, then the managers can choose to diversify the firm's market into other industries also. Counter competitive threats. Next we have counter competitive threats. So when competitors join, or you can say whenever there is mergers or acquisition of competitors, then the number of competing firms decreases. So that's why here given counter competitive threats. So threats it decreases. Seventh, that is access to latest technology. So here many okay, access to latest technology. Firms gain access to latest technologies without huge amount of money on research and development whenever there is mergers or acquisition, or some kind of a strategic alliance. Because if any one firm or any one organization has that kind of technology which is required for competing in a particular industry, then by mergers and acquisition, by diversification, it was not mergers, it is a diversification, then in that case newer technologies can be accessed by the organization which were not able to get that technology. Then we have regulatory factors. So here organizations take advantage of the incentives being offered by the various governments to attract investments. So that is also the rationale for diversification. Now here you have alternative routes to diversification. Alternative routes to diversification, the first one that is here given. The first one that is mergers and acquisition. A merger is a legal transaction in which two or more organizations combine operations through an exchange of a stock. In a merger, only one organization entity will eventually remain. So what happens in a merger? Only one organization entity will eventually remain. So here legal transaction which two or more organization combine operations, and only one organization will remain as it is and another organization will have to become extinct. And the second one here, here acquisition, given acquisition is a purchase of one organization by another, and here it was the merger where it was the combining two organizations, and here in case of acquisition is a purchase of one organization by another. Then you have a strategic partnering. There you have a strategic partnering. A strategic partnering occurs when two or more organizations establish a relationship that combines their resources, capabilities, and core competencies to achieve some business objectives. Okay, so here to achieve some business objectives, two or more organizations establish a relationship that combines their resources. So the overall objective is to achieve a business objective by organizations by combining the resources, capabilities, and core competencies. So three major types of strategic partnerships are given here. The first one, that is joint venture. Second one, that is long-term contracts. So here you have joint ventures, long-term contracts, and a strategic alliance. So now move on to these one by one. So here it is the first one, that is the joint venture. In joint venture, two or more organizations form a separate independent organization for strategic purposes. Two or more organizations form a separate independent organization for strategic purposes. Such partnerships are usually focused on accomplishing a specific market objective. So some kind of market objective it is achieved by creating a new venture. Then you have the long-term contracts. In long-term contracts, two or more organizations enter a legal contract for a specific business purpose. Long-term contracts are common between a buyer and a supplier. So here generally long-term contracts are formed in between the buyers and the supplier, and in this arrangement two or more organization, it may be the buyer organization or the seller or supplier organization, enter a legal contract for a specific business purpose. Then strategic alliance. Then strategic alliance, they're given in a strategic alliance two or more organizations share resources, capabilities, and distinctive competencies to pursue some business purposes. It means combining organizations resources, capabilities, and distinctive competencies to pursue some business purpose. While the partners incorporate within the boundaries of the alliance relationship, they often compete fiercely in other parts of their businesses. It means in whatever market those organizations share resources, capabilities to pursue some business objective. So only in those you can say the market they form alliance, but in other markets they compete with each other. That's about the strategic alliance. I think here the meaning of these all three forms of strategic partnering clear. So that's it. Long-term contract, that is clear. Then there you have joint venture. So here a new firm is being established by two or more organizations in a strategic alliance. Two or more organizations share resources and capabilities to pursue some business purpose. in one market but compete with each other in other markets. Then you have mergers and acquisitions. So here given key principle behind buying a company is to create shareholder value over and above that of the sum of two companies. Two companies together are more valuable than two separate companies. At least that's the reasoning behind mergers and acquisition. So here the principle behind mergers and acquisition is that if two organizations or two firms are individually producing something, then that output it will be less compared to when those two or more organizations produce output by combining their resources. So that's what here given. So two companies together are more valuable, so that's why here two companies are more valuable than two separate companies. Merger happens, you see here, I'm talking here, merger happens when two firms often about the same size agree to unite as a new single company rather than remain a separate unit. Both companies stocks are surrendered and new company stock is issued in its place. Okay, that's what happens in mergers, means stocks of old companies are surrendered and the stocks of a new company is formed or issued. When a company takes over another to become the new owner of the target company, the purchase is called an acquisition. Okay, here purchasing of one company by the another one, that's it is acquisition. So here you have acquisition. So next, now you say synergy. Here synergy is the main reason cited for many mergers and acquisitions. Synergy meaning the output produced individually, it is going to be less compared to when two organizations combine their resources to produce output. It means the output produced by combining the resources of two or more organizations will be more compared to the output produced by companies when they are operating individually. So different forms of mergers here given, different forms of mergers. So the first form given, that is horizontal merger. So what happens here in case of horizontal merger? So mergers of two companies are mergers of two companies are in direct competition in the same product categories and markets. Okay, here two companies are in direct competition in the same product categories and markets. So whenever those companies are combined, then that is known as horizontal merger. Then the second one that is given, the second one here given, vertical merger. So mergers of two companies which are in different stages of the supply chain. If two companies or two firms are at different stages of the supply chain, then in that case whenever there it is a merger, then that is known as vertical merger, or it is also known as vertical integration. Then the third kind that is given, market extension merger. So now you see here I'm talking this one. So market extension merger, mergers of two companies that sell the same product in different markets. So market extension merger meaning the same product it is being sold in different markets. Okay, so for example, if two companies being merged, then in that case the product produced by the first company will be sold in the market of another or the second company's market. So now fourth one, that is product extension merger. So what happens? Product extension merger here. Merger of two companies selling different but related products in the same market. So in this case, two companies producing, okay, or selling similar or same kind of products. Two companies selling different but related products, in the same market. They sell in the same market, but they may have same or different products. So here you can see market extension means different markets. Okay, now you see here the matter is different market, and here it is the same market. So that is the difference in between these two. Product extension meaning same market, but more products can be sold in the same market. But in case of market extension, same product will be sold in different markets. Then you have fifth number, that is conglomeration. Here mergers of two companies that have no common business area. Okay, mergers of two companies that have no common business area. That's about conglomeration. Then we have this, that is mergers and acquisition strategies. So merger and acquisition strategy. So various reasons for merger and acquisition are there. So out of those, some are given here. The first one, it is to reduce competition. So why there it is merger and acquisition? The first reason that is given, reduce competition, to eliminate competition. Acquiring a competitor is an excellent way to improve a firm's position in the marketplace. It reduces competition and allows the acquiring firm to use the target market's resources and expertise. Even if the merger is not for the stated purpose of eliminating competition, regulatory agencies may conclude that a merger is anti-competitive. Okay, that it was not. The main reason is that it reduces competition and allows the acquiring firm to use the target firm's resources and expertise. Second reason, that is the cost. Second reason, that is the cost efficiency. So cost efficiency, that is given second. So the general assumption is that larger firms are more cost effective than are smaller firms. So larger companies are not necessarily more efficient. Here means generally, that is the general assumption that larger firms are more cost effective than smaller firms. So that's why merger and acquisition generally happen. Then you have the third one, that is avoid being a takeover target. If the targeted firm invest existing funds in a takeover, it has the effect of discouraging other firms from targeting it because it is now larger in size. So now you see, if the targeted firm invest existing funds in a takeover, it has the effect of discouraging other firms from targeting it because it is now larger in size and will therefore require a larger tender offer. So that's what happens if one firm, if there is one firm just like A, and if a firm merge or acquire another firm B, then the size of this one will become larger. Okay, the size of this will become larger. Then acquiring A plus B, it is much more difficult by a third firm C. Okay, so that's why to make mergers, or you can say takeover difficult, to make takeover, so I can to make takeover difficult. That's it. To make this takeover difficult, here So that's why given to avoid being takeover target, or in other word we can say to make takeover difficult, two or more firms merge or combine each other. Then you have improve earnings and reduce sales variability. If a firm has earnings or sale instability, merging with another company may reduce or eliminate this, provided the latter company is more stable. If one company is more stable and another one it is less stable, then when we combine these two or when we merge these two firms, then in that case the resulting uh, firm it may be more stable. So that's why given fourth one, that is improve earnings and reduce sales variability. Fifth one, that is given, this one is done. Fifth one, that is market and product line issues. Market and product line issues. Often mergers occur simply because one firm is in a market that the other company wants to enter. So given market and product line issues, so here if one company, for example, if a company A wants to enter the market of company B, so that can happen very easily if there is merger or acquisition of merger of A with B, or acquisition of B by A. So all of the target firms' experience and resources are readily available for immediate use by the acquiring firm. So that is also the reason. Then you have the sixth number, you see, the acquire resources. To combine the resources of two firms. So these may be tangible resources such as plant and equipment, or they may be intangible resources such as trade secrets, patent, copyrights, leases, management and technical skills of target companies' employees, etc. So that is about the acquired resources. The seventh reason for mergers and acquisition is synergy. Synergy means sum of two or more firms, or you can say the output of two or more firms when combined it is more than when they operate individually. So that's, I think, given. Economies of scope would occur if two companies combine and the combined company has more cost efficient. So that given economies of scope would occur if two companies combine and the combined company was more cost efficient at both activities because each requires the same resources and competencies. So that's it. It means synergy means output. It is more when two companies operate combinedly than when two companies operate individually. Then next you have the tax saving. Acquiring company may reap tax savings depending on the market value of the target company's assets when compared to the purchase price. Then ninth number given, cashing out. So in case of cashing out, what happens? For a family owned business, when the owners wish to retire or otherwise leave the business and the next generation is uninterested in the business, the owners may decide to sell to another firm for purposes of retirement or cashing out. If the deal is structured correctly, there can be significant tax saving also. So cashing out means if the next generation is not interested in that business, then that next generation can sell the business and then take the cash. Reasons for failure of mergers and acquisition. What are the reasons? So reasons for failure of mergers and acquisition, I think that I should complete in the next session. So I think for this session till now it is okay. or should we move on to the next one? Okay, let's complete it. So reason for the failure of mergers and acquisition. What are different reasons are there for this? So past trends show that roughly two-thirds of all big mergers have not produced the desired result. The rationale behind mergers can be flawed, and inefficiencies from economies of scale may prove elusive. It means the way we think that if we combine two organizations, then the output it will increase as compared to what it could produce when those two firms produce output individually, okay, or separately. So that there it is maybe a flaw, that is maybe a flawed assumption. So potential pitfalls that a firm is likely to encounter during diversification include first one, that is given integration difficulties. So issues such as mending to disparate corporate cultures, linking different financial and control systems, building effective financial and control system, building effective working relationships, etc., will come to the fore, and they have to be contend with. It means such issues may emerge. Just like when we want to combine the working relationship of two separate firms, then there may be some kind of issues, or it may be possible some kind of issues when we combine the two different kinds of financial and control systems of two firms or organizations. So that is the integration difficulty, or there may be possible that the cultures of those two firms are quite different. So that is also the reason for integration difficulties. So that's about the first one. Now second one, that is faulty assumptions. So faulty assumption means a booming stock market encourages mergers, which can spell danger. Deals done with highly rated stock as currency appear easy and cheap, but underlying assumptions behind such deals is seriously flawed. It means during the boom period, companies' stock price may be high, but that it may not be due to its better position in the marketplace, or it may be possible that executive ego plays a major role. Okay, the executive ego plays a major role in mergers and acquisition. Now third one, given failure to carry out effective due diligence. The failure to complete due diligence often results in the acquiring firm paying excessive premiums. Due diligence here means paying more than what the acquired or the target firm's price is. If the firm's, or you can say the target firm's price is or premium is less what it has been paid, then in that case that is going to be the failure for the mergers or acquisition. An effective due diligence process examines a large number of items in areas as diverse as those of financing the intended transaction, differences in cultures between the two firms, tax concessions of the transaction. So these things should be considered. Means we when before merger, differences in culture should be analyzed, or maybe there should be analysis of financing transaction or financial transactions. Now the fourth one, given inordinate increase in debt. Firms may lose their competitive edge due to over diversification. So okay, so it may be due to over diversification. So over diversification may cause what it causes. lose, or you can say loss of competitive edge. So here I can write down loss of competitive edge. Then you have problem, too much diversification. Okay, fourth one given, too much diversification. So too much diversification can be, or you can say over diversification, loss of competitive edge. Then problems in making merger and acquisition. So problems, it may be like that, mergers can distract them from their core business, spelling doom for the company. So here it may be possible that distraction from their core business. So here I can write down problem in distraction from their core business. Now next, here you have the attributes leading to successful acquisition suggested by various studies are that. Okay, so what are the attributes leading to successful acquisition? That is first one. Here you see acquired firm has assets or resources that are complementary to the acquiring firm's core business. Second, you have acquisition is friendly. Third, it is that acquiring firm selects target firm and conducts negotiation carefully and methodically. Fourth, given acquiring firm has adequate cash and favorable debt position. Merged firms maintain low to moderate debt position. And sixth, given acquiring firm has experience with change and is flexible and adaptable. Seventh, given acquiring firm maintains sustained and consistent emphasis on research and development and innovation. So these are the attributes which lead to successful acquisition. Now next, move on to here we are. So steps in mergers and acquisition. The first step, that is initial offer by the intent. This is the first one, initial offer by the intending buyer. So when a company decides to go for a merger or acquisition, it starts with a tender offer. Okay, means acquiring company offer the target company. The tender offer is then frequently advertised in the business press, stating the offer price and the deadline by which the shareholder in the target company must accept or reject it. Second one, that is given response from the target company. So responses, it may be accept the terms of the offer, attempt to negotiate. It means the target company may negotiate, or the third, it may be that execute a poison pill or some other hostile takeover defense. Okay, so here given execute a poison pill or some other hostile takeover defense. So it may be possible that a target company can trigger a poison pill scheme when a hostile suitor acquires a predetermined percentage of company's stock. So here in third case, there execute a poison pill means that the target company does not want to be acquired by the acquiring company. So in that case, some kind of negativity, or you can say some kind of negative effect is being produced on the acquiring company. Now third one, that is the closing deal. Here you see, that is the closing deal. Finally, once the target company agrees to the tender offer and the regulatory requirements are met, the merger deal will be executed by means of some transaction. In a merger in which one company buys another, the acquirer will pay for the target company's shares with cash, stock, or both. So, mergers and acquisition, the Indian scenario. What is the situation of mergers and acquisition in the Indian scenario? Now let's talk about that. Okay, mergers and acquisition activity had a slow takeoff in India. Traditionally, Indian promoters have been very reluctant to sell out their businesses since it was synonymous with failure and was never viewed as a sensible move. This scenario changed dramatically in the 90s with the Tatas selling Tomco and Lakme. Suddenly, selling out had become a sensible option. The second major reason for the slow takeoff of mergers and acquisition was due to the fact that even while the companies continued to decline, the banks and financial institutions, normally the biggest stakeholders in most Indian companies, were reluctant to change the management. Fortunately, this situation has changed for the better. Once in the beginning, the Indian companies were reluctant for mergers and acquisitions, but that changed during the 90s when Tata started selling some of their brands just like Tomco and Lakme. The second major reason is that the major we can say stakeholder or shareholder of companies were banks and financial institutions. They were reluctant to change the management. So mergers and acquisitions in India, just as in other parts of the world, are primarily aimed at expanding a company's business and profits. Since size and focus are factors that matter for surviving the onslaught of a competition, mergers and acquisition have emerged as a key growth drivers of Indian business. Another reason behind mergers and acquisition has been to gain new customers. The need for skills enhancement seems to be better, or you can say, seems to be another reason for companies to merge and make new acquisitions. So, by these points, we can understand the situation of in the Indian scenario of mergers and acquisition. I think that's over. So thank you all. So now in the this fourth unit it is over. We will see in the next session. So thank you.